Hello everyone and welcome to this in-depth analysis of the news. Today, we are going to explore a major initiative launched by the French President, Emmanuel Macron, a passionate call to researchers from around the world to choose France and Europe as a home for their scientific work. Announced on April 17, 2025, this call is set against a tense geopolitical backdrop and aims to position France as a haven for talent while strengthening European strategic autonomy. So, what exactly is it about? What are the stakes, the strengths, and the challenges of this ambition? Get comfortable, because we are going to dive into the details of this strategy, step by step. Let's start with the context. It's April 2025, and the world of scientific research is going through a turbulent period. In the United States, the administration of Donald Trump, back in power since January, has triggered a shockwave. Massive budget cuts in federal funding, notably for the National Institutes of Health, and restrictions on academic freedoms, particularly in the fields of climate, gender studies, and public health, are worrying researchers. Some are even considering leaving the country to continue their work elsewhere. It is in this context that Emmanuel Macron steps onto the scene. In a video published on X, he directly addresses scientists from around the world. To all researchers, France opens its doors to you. Here, research is a priority. Innovation is a culture, science is a limitless horizon. Join us to build a sustainable and inclusive future. This call is not limited to words. It is accompanied by a concrete platform called Choose France for Science, launched on April 17, 2025. Managed by the National Research Agency, this platform allows French universities, laboratories, and organizations to propose projects to host international researchers. These projects are supported by the France 2030 Plan, an ambitious program endowed with 54 billion euros, which can finance up to 50% of the costs, with the remainder covered by higher institutions, European funds, or private partners. The priority areas are health, climate change, biodiversity, artificial intelligence, space, and sustainable agriculture. A concrete example comes from Aix-Marseille University, which has launched its Safe Place for Science program. Starting in June 2025, it will host 20 researchers with a budget of 600,000 to 800,000 euros per person over 3 years. The university has already received 298 applications, of which 242 are eligible, mainly in fields such as biology, epidemiology, oncology, history, and gender studies. This demonstrates a rapid mobilization, but also a strong global demand. This is not the first time that France has attempted to attract researchers. In 2017, after Trump's election, Macron launched Make Our Planet Great Again, a program to welcome scientists working on climate issues. The result was 32 researchers out of 5,000 applications, a modest outcome. In 2018, a Franco-German initiative attracted 27 researchers with advancements in renewable energies. These experiences show that France has mobilized, but they also reveal limitations: insufficient funds, heavy bureaucracy, and fierce global competition. An op-ed in Le Monde even describes the idea of a massive welcome of American researchers as commendable but unrealistic, highlighting budgetary and administrative constraints. France will therefore need to do better this time to capitalize on the opportunity. Let's move on to a key event in this strategy. The meeting on May 5, 2025, announced by Macron to bring together what he calls the Great Research Community. The details remain vague, but this event could be a platform to unveil new measures, present the opportunities of Choose France for Science, and strengthen European cooperation. France has strong assets to attract. Its research ecosystem is dynamic, with institutions like CNRS, INSERM, or CEA, prestigious universities like Paris-Saclay, ranked 15th in the world, and innovative companies like Sanofi or Thales. The France 2030 Plan funds structured projects, such as 500 million euros for centers of excellence in artificial intelligence, or 4 billion for health. In Bordeaux, for example, the university plans to create 7 to 8 chairs to host researchers focusing on energy transition and digital health. But this meeting is not limited to France. It could also promote European partnerships, relying on networks like the 3IA Institutes or the Horizon Europe program with a budget of 95.5 billion euros. However, uncertainties loom. Previous announcements by Macron, such as the Presidential Council for Science in 2023, have sometimes been criticized for their lack of follow-up. Without a clear agenda and concrete measures, like permanent contracts or competitive salaries, this event risks disappointing. Moreover, European coordination is complex as each country has its own priorities. Germany, for example, focuses on applied sciences, while France prioritizes fundamental research. One of the pillars of this initiative is the essential international collaboration to tackle the major challenges of the 21st century, such as climate change, health crises, energy transition, and artificial intelligence. Macron emphasizes the exchange of knowledge and transnational networks. Take the example of the CNRS, which launched a project on marine biodiversity, bringing together French, Australian, and Brazilian researchers with a budget of 10 million euros. Or the 3IA Institutes, which collaborate with Japanese and American scientists on AI. The COVID-19 crisis highlighted French weaknesses, such as the inability to produce an mRNA vaccine. Macron wants to learn from this failure by attracting experts in virology or biotechnology. But collaboration has its limits. In 2019, figures like Jules Hoffmann, Nobel Prize winner in 2011, warned about the lack of resources in French research, which is losing competitiveness against the United States and China. By focusing on specific themes, France also risks neglecting other disciplines, such as the humanities. And then there is the competition between European countries that are vying for the same talents. Germany, with its €1 billion program launched in 2024, could attract researchers interested in France. Beyond scientific excellence, France is banking on its quality of life to appeal. Paris, Marseille, Ibis, Bordeaux, or Grenoble offer an ideal setting with a rich culture, a universal healthcare system, and access to quality education. Specific measures enhance this attractiveness. The France 2030 plan proposes a fund of €100 million to co-finance hosting projects. A bill submitted by France Hollande on April 14, 2025, aims to create a scientific refugee status for threatened researchers, with expedited visas and easier access to the job market. In Marseille, Aix-Marseille University supports its researchers with housing assistance and French courses, while promoting its Mediterranean setting. But obstacles remain. French bureaucracy, with visas taking months, is a hindrance. The language barrier can complicate daily life, especially outside major cities. Salaries, ranging from €3,000 to €5,000 gross per month for a professor, are less competitive than in the United States or Switzerland. And the proposal for scientific refugees, although symbolic, still needs to be adopted by Parliament in a tense political climate. Finally, this appeal is part of a broader vision: Europe's strategic autonomy. Faced with giants like the United States and China, Europe must become a hub of scientific excellence, while defending its values of freedom, inclusion, and diversity. The France 2030 plan finances strategic sectors, such as green hydrogen or health, to reduce dependence on foreign technologies. Partnerships like the one with Germany in 2018 have enabled advances in renewable energies. By welcoming threatened researchers, Europe reaffirms its commitment to academic freedom. But this ambition faces challenges. European funding is fragmented and Horizon Europe is criticized for its complexity. Member countries, although partners, compete with each other. The reliance on private funding in France 2030 could steer research towards commercial priorities. And then, Macron's initiatives have sometimes been perceived as publicity stunts, like "Make Our Planet Great Again," which did not fulfill all its promises. To succeed, France will need to turn these announcements into tangible results. In conclusion, Emmanuel Macron's call is a unique opportunity for France and Europe to position themselves as scientific leaders. With Choose France for Science, the meeting on May 5, 2025, and measures like the scientific refugee status, France holds the cards. But to convince, it will need to overcome bureaucracy, offer competitive funding, and unite Europe. The stakes are immense, as research will shape the future. So, will France rise to the challenge? The future will tell. Thank you for following this analysis and see you soon for more insights.